in a small rural town in South Carolina. We were the only Indian family in that small southern town. We weren't white enough to be white. We weren't black enough to be black. They didn't know who we were, what we were, or why we were there. And I remember when I would get teased on the playground, my mom would always say, your job is not to show them how you're different. Your job is to show them how you're similar. Our country could take my mom's advice right now. And even though the town didn't know why we were there, my parents knew why we were there. Because there was never a day they didn't tell my brothers, my sister, and me how blessed we were to live in America. My mom started a business out of the living room of our home. I started doing the books for the family business when I was 13. It wasn't until I got to college that I realized that was child labor. But I learned the value of $1, and then I went on. I'm not an Ivy Leaguer like the rest of the candidates. I went to a public school. I went to Clemson University. Go Tigers! Yes. Graduated with a degree in accounting. Met my husband my very first weekend at college. We dated for 7 years. We've been married for 26. We have 2 children. And I went and worked in the corporate world. And then I came back home to the family business. And one day I was sitting down telling my mom how hard it was to make $1 and how easy it was for government to take it. My mom said, quit complaining about it, do something about it. I did not know you weren't supposed to run against a 30-year incumbent in a primary. I truly didn't. Ignorance is bliss. And once we realized he was related to half the district, the only option was to win. So I went around that district and I said, you know what, we've got way too many lawyers at the State House. I think they need a really good accountant. And the district took a chance on me. I won and I got to work at the State House. Now in South Carolina, a lot of legislation was passed by a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. But one day, there was a bill that was read across the desk that would give legislators a pay raise. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, silent. The ayes have it. Yet to this day, you can't find anyone that says they voted themselves a pay raise. We had a Republican House, a Republican Senate, a Republican governor. And I was furious. I went to the Speaker of the House and I said, this is why people don't trust us. And I filed a bill that said anything important enough to be debated on the floor of the House or the Senate is important enough for people to know how their legislators voted. The Speaker said, put the bill away. We don't need to have it. We will decide what the people need to see and what they don't. I remember going home to my husband that night saying, if I can't even get legislative votes on the record, what am I doing here? And he said, then fight. So I went around the state of South Carolina and I said, did you know of all the bills passed in the House, only 8% were on the record? Of all the bills passed in the Senate, only 1% was on the record. So if you didn't know how your House member voted 92% of the time, if you didn't know how your senator voted 99% of the time, how did you know who to vote for when you went to the polls? And the people of South Carolina were shocked. To put this into perspective, my first year in office, I was chairman of the freshman class. My second year, I was majority whip. My third year, I was on a powerful business committee. My fourth year, I was subcommittee chair of banking. The year that I wouldn't put the bill away, they stripped me of everything. I could take the well, no one would hear me speak. I could sponsor a bill, no one would co-sponsor. So I ran for governor. I'm proud to say that one of the first bills we signed into law is now in South Carolina. Everything debated on the floor of the House or the Senate requires a legislative vote on the record. And we took it a step further and we did it on every section of the budget. And I love music, so on the day of the bill signing, I blasted throughout the State House Pat Benatar's Hit Me With Your Best Shot.